Hello, everyone, and welcome to an all theory craft. Answer the call. I saw the monthly report where they talked about the new mining and salvage missions, and I figured I didn't really have a big topic to discuss today. I think if I'm going to discuss like the ballistic changes, maybe I'll do that next week and bring on some content creators in the PvP space and hear what they have to say about it. And because, they're more the experts and what they think might happen and the experiences that they're seeing so far, right? This one, I think, would be a lot of fun because, well, it was sort of a surprise to see. And it was vague. There wasn't a lot of information there. So it opens the door to think about what these might entail and what would be important to us. So for the people who are listening on live right now, and if any of you guys do want to participate live, for now, I don't know what I talked a lot about changes that I might be making, a second podcast that I might be making, all sorts of ideas that I've had early in the stream today, but I don't know if it's viable or if it's a thing to do and stuff like that. But I don't work on Fridays anymore, so it kind of opens the door for possible like Friday night podcast. And more American viewers. So if you're watching on YouTube, it might open the door for that as a possibility. Maybe it's every other week I do Answer the Call Friday night. Every other week I do it on Sunday morning, to grab different audiences. I don't know. But regardless, I think where I want to talk and go with this is, what do I think they need to be for them to be really engaging? Do we just need a fetch quest? Like, do you get a mission? Oh, mining mission or salvage mission is go to this marker, mine this material, come back. Is that good enough? For me, I would say maybe. If it's like that, what else would it need? And why I say maybe. I think that's where you kind of maybe need to tie reputation into it. And if there's one thing that I really want to see in 2023, and I wanted to see this in 2022, this was one of my main requests from the dev team in 2022. If you are going to release a new mission type, you need to release real, tangible reputation to it. Whether that was reputation rewards that were items that were cool, kind of Vandal Mask style something, or reputation rewards that unlocked new mission types, more dangerous, cooler, maybe some storytelling of some kind. I think that if it's just a fetch quest, it would need that to build a reason to do it. If it's not just a fetch quest, what would it look like? Well, I don't know. I think maybe I still think for these types it will all feel very fetch questy, but because no matter what, you have to go out, you have to get it, and you have to bring it back to somebody. So the real important thing to me is the reputation and how that plays into this. And that would be the driving force for me, is reputation. So what would mining reputation look like? It can, and what it cannot be is you get a bonus payout when you have higher reputation when you deliver this ore. The only thing that I can see is the better you gain, the more you have, the better rep you have. Maybe the more difficult or the higher amount of ore you would have to gather. So for example, the highest end missions would probably ask you to go get Quantanium, and in, maybe higher than 32 SCU in quantity. So take multiple runs. But one thing that I do hope that is fetch questy is that because we know that they're going to change the way they distribute ore in the game as well. So the other element of this could be competition. What if everybody is getting the same mission? What if those missions are done on a planet? Everybody goes to the same location and it's ROC minables, or maybe prospector minables. But I think you could do, because you could take, there's pieces of the game that you can utilize here. You guys remember the what were they called? Where you would fight off prospectors, but you would also have to destroy the turrets. There were missions that were done in those locations. What if those were utilized in some way, right? As like prospector and mole mining locations, claim jumpers. Yes, thank you. That could be something that they utilize. What I'd like to see is, us kind of funneled to one area. Hey, this is a high density mining area. There's a lot of stuff going on here. And then it sort of becomes competitive. And one of the things that I do like is that claim jumper missions have a marker that you can go to. And that would allow for prospector mining and a quantum marker for people to get to. So that is very cool. That is something I'm very interested in and really want to see. But then to bring it back to reputation and what I think reputation would look like, and we'll go to callers. We only have one right now, so if you guys do want to share your opinions on this, I haven't even talked about Salvage yet. You want to share how you feel about Salvage, how that can play into this, how reputation can play into it. I see the word mission givers in chat, how that can play into it. Join the Discord, discord.gg/SaltEMike. There is a green room under the Answer the Call podcast section. We do this every Sunday morning. I think that's where I was getting into before. Live on twitch.tv/SaltEMike. Sunday morning Eastern time. It's 9:30 a.m. Eastern now. And share your opinions about this. I think I'm putting a lot out there. Agree, disagree, you want to add to it, go ahead. I hope your mic works too, Ducky. He's going to be our caller that's coming in. The reputation side of things cannot be bonus money. It has to be things like unlocking the better mining lasers. It has to be unlocking more difficult missions. It has to be possibly, I think one thing that could be really cool is unlocking new ways of refining. Not just lasers, but the consumables, all sorts of cool stuff like that. And maybe more difficult locations, right? Where NPCs are you might have to fight off or something like that. Bringing multi-crew into it as well could be a cool aspect of this. So I've shared a lot of my thoughts around mining. I think you can apply the same things to Salvage. I think Salvage is a lot easier. Spawn a wreck. But what I would love to see is vehicle tractor beams, spawn a wreck, and maybe that would allow us to pull vehicle components. Just place them there. They could be floating. Doesn't matter. And pull them in. And that could be your salvage, not just RMC. With that said, I am not mega prepared for our first caller, so let me do my best to be, which would be typing Evil Ducky right there. Moving that right there. And we should be good to go. So let me bring him in. Ducky, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. I can hear you as well. So I did talk a lot. What are you feeling on the subject here?
So mostly mining. I'm definitely there. Like you said, a lot of the stuff can be applied to salvage and stuff too. But one thing I would like to see are small. The areas that I'd like to focus on mining are down to the hand mining and rock mining scales. There's two things that I would love to see implemented into the game under those two. The first one would be a complete prison rework of mining and the underground facilities that they're making for what is it, 4.0 or whatever, a rebuild of prison where there's two layers to prison. One layer you can run off and do hand mining, and one layer where you go off and do rock mining and stuff like that through caves, which I think would be amazing.
That would be a cool mission. Yeah, sure.
So
I think one of the things to do that is maybe you got to have more things to mine than Hadanite, Dolivine, and Aphorite, I think.
yeah, but with the salvage tools and stuff like that, like you can go off and salvage old broken down rocks in the caves for scrap so that they can fix their rocks, stuff like that. Those types of missions instead of just mining rocks and stuff. Same with like a salvage attachment for the rock itself, where it can go off and salvage other rocks and bring it back. So you could have like that dual layer of salvage and mining at the same time. One rock goes in with a salvage beam, one rock goes in with the mining beam.
All right, so given that you were talking about prison, and that is a complete waste of time because it will never be fixed and it will always be a problem. What is your other aspect?
So the other
you're
aspect,
holding push to talk, so I could hear.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it likes to get stuck. Okay. The other aspect would be to have outposts that are mining caves that are held by pirate NPCs. And those would be your higher rep missions where you can go to this outpost. One, you'd have to clear out the outpost of the Nine Tails or whatever pirate org is owning them. And then two, you'd have to go in and get whatever material. They can add new materials for you to mine too. It doesn't just, like you said, have to be those three main materials. They can add special ones at these caves where you have to go mine those out. But you'd also have to have people to protect you because they have the reinforcement NPCs, which could come in with ground vehicles to come in after you in the caves and stuff like that. So then you would utilize having like those small ground vehicles that kind of have a little to no use right now. Like those what are those 4-wheelers with the gun turrets and stuff? Like have those go in the caves with you or just sit outside and protect. So I think those would be cooler, higher rep missions where you go in and either mine new materials at these outposts or do salvage runs from like, a wrecked ship that's in there that they need the parts.
How important is reputation to you?
A little bit. It depends on what it is. I mean, like I said, those rep things, I kind of go for a few reputation things, but I don't go for very much. Like I'll get a couple of the cargo ones, the Bojack, or not the Bojack, the red ones or whatever they are. Mm-hmm. I don't do very many combat ones. I'm not very good at PvP stuff, so I try to stay out of like the bounty side of it. But if it was locked behind reputation for mining and salvage, I would actually go out and try to get those reps.
Yeah. I'm curious how they would. It just cannot be additional money. Like they have to start moving away from that. And I don't know how much, what quantum tech they're going to need to be able to, unlock reputation in a store and allow you to be able to purchase more things, or for the game to offer you something new when you hit certain rep tiers, or what they're going to need to offer rewards for rep that is not just money bonuses. But I just feel like if you're gonna make missions like this, you have to do that.
Well, I think once they get into those things, like you said, the component salvaging side of it, the higher reps, you could go to these pirate outposts and find different laser heads that they've made for their rock in whatever salvage vehicles that they have. And that's the only way to get them. And then the only way to get those missions is to have a higher rep with the mining companies that want them.
Mm-hmm. And then you need Sorry, you're stuck again.
No, you go ahead. That was my bad. I just thought of something else as I said that. Like, or you can find better mining components. We have the mining stuff in the mining gadgets in the store now. You can find better mining gadgets at the outposts.
Yeah, and they could go the route of taking them out, the way they did with. I think that was one of the best wins that they've had in the game. Is, I mean, every time I go to Security Post Korea, every time I go anywhere, I'm looking in these containers looking for railguns. Like, people are gonna want railguns. Seem very rare. I don't even know if they're in the game anymore. I cannot find them anytime I play. So it just comes down to, and this is where a fact that I don't think will happen when these missions come out. If they take the best lasers out of the game shops and then only apply them to these missions, then will there be enough demand for them where people can, go and salvage them and find them, or gain access to them and sell them to other players? I don't know. And I don't know if that'll be a thing until because before the episode started, we discussed a little bit about the reasoning behind mining. That's not the discussion here. We know that there's no reason behind playing the game. There's no really progression driving force, but there could be a very small one if people do want these lasers or do want these consumables or whatever you happen to find through gaining rep or through doing these missions. If they decided to go that route, that you could supply to other players and sell. And yeah, I think it would be fun. But
well, one other thought is, instead of removing them, they could increase the price of them and make alternate versions of them that you can easily get through these reputable or these missions and stuff. So you still have like those gadgets, but they cost like 3 times more than normal, and then you just go off to these missions and you have a good possibility of finding them instead. And I mean, it's just a different way of looking at it, because I mean, if you have stuff here, like in real world, you find something that is really expensive. Sometimes you go to like a junkyard and find the same thing. It's just as good, and you're like, wow, I would have spent like 3 times more. So just another thought, instead of just removing stuff, to add alternate versions. Maybe someone just wants to build out like a pirate loadout for their rock or something, or their prospector, and it looks janky, but it works well. So
yeah, could be. I mean, you kind of make another point of something that we never mentioned was
repair.
No,
one, and then you can repair it.
Like visual things, cosmetics. Oh, yeah. The word cosmetics. I just could not think of that word for a second. I'm sorry if you guys see me yawning and stuff. I'm very low amount of hours of sleep today. I was at work very late last night. Yeah, so like cosmetic stuff as well would be pretty sick. There's ROC paints, prospector paints could be.
Yeah, I think those would be cool. There needs to be
more than that, but having that is a thing would be nice.
Oh yeah, but until also the Orion comes out, like larger scale mining, I can't wait for the Orion. That's my dream. Like mining operations is just running those. So that's going to be fun once that ever decides to show up.
Yeah, don't hold your breath.
I'm not going to.
They're already making another mining vehicle before it, So
I know, that made me sad. Yeah. And it's RSI too, and it's not Argo. That makes me even more sad.
Yeah, except Orion's RSI, so maybe it leads to it quicker. Never know.
That is true. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I had. So thanks.
No problem. We'll let you go, man.
All right, later.
Bye. We'll bring in the next caller. It's Johnny Morgan. What's up, Johnny?
Ooh, helps if I unmute myself. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I have your name there. There it goes. So, what do you think? What do you think these missions are going to look like?
You said the magic word for me, so I'm not sure what they're going to look like per se. I'm curious. I am, because they've now mentioned that they're going to tweak the mole, right? I don't know if that's coming in 3.18, but they said they're going to tweak the mole, so it's going to be more beneficial to take the multi-cruise ship over single ships. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Very.
But what you said there is what I would really like too, the interaction side. So if they pop a mission off for mining, like you were saying, rock mining, and it funnels a bunch of miners in, and it's a high value one, and they can scale it, right? The higher the value, the more chance that it's going to kick off a mission to the pirates and the bounty hunters. Like, I like the idea of these missions potentially being locked behind reputation too. So if I have a high rep in something, and I like where they're going with Kreia, right? Like when you go in and you kick it off, other players get notified. I would like that in some of this higher end scenarios, especially with Salvage, right? Like, so I go in, let's say it's a javelin, right? That pops and there's a big notification comes out. We all take the mission. All the salvagers go there. They start cutting it up. They either decide to work together or fight. And then after a little bit of time as they get going, pops off for the pirates saying, hey, there's this really good opportunity here for you. And bounty hunters, you have great rep in, let's say, Northgrup. It pops off for you saying, these people are going to need some defense. And then we get this crazy interaction. People get in, they get their value, or they lose their value and they have it. And then it's over, right? Once the javelin's pretty much gone.
Tony
That
Z,
is
is that you?
Yeah.
Right? And that's not, I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just a lot of what the way he's sort of described
100%.
it. And it's that simple. It's just a matter of like it happening. It's
And
not
they
about,
have the
like I
hooks
see
now,
chat, it's
right?
not
Like-
selling the dream. It's not, did you hear what he said? It's not like, this isn't crazy shit that Johnny's saying here. It's pretty basic stuff. Go here, guys. High value stuff over here. And then what happens after is what happens after. Like, he doesn't even need to take it to the level of these missions all pop off. It can be more organic than that. It could be like, yo, hello, everybody. High value ore here. And that's it. And then you can kind of see what happens. I do
even
think it
that
needs a
would be
little
nice,
more,
right?
like the way you describe it, I like better, but it doesn't even have to be that complicated.
And they have the tech now, right? We've seen it with the Kreia one. The Kreia one's pretty cool. Like, I haven't really tested it though, but to see how it pops off. But it is popping off and it is bringing players together. And you know me, man, I just want the player interactions everywhere. So like, I would love to see that. And for Salvage, all the pieces are in place. You get cargo boxes out of it. So it makes sense now to funnel some pirates into touch points with them at somewhere along their funnel at some point, right? Give them that opportunity. And if they're good at combat or they have people with them that are good at combat, well, maybe they win that engagement and they get to create clips for clip of the day and stuff like that. Right? Like, it leads to so much good content for everyone else in the verse. So yeah, I am a Tony Z cultist, 100% guilty. I'm not even gonna pretend I'm not.
I didn't even think, like, with salvage missions, just adding I guess commodity boxes to the soft death or busted up ship as a an option. Hey, I'm just gonna close my door. I'm here. I can hear you.
Oh yeah, no worries. They do, like, because I haven't really tested Salvage, but it does poop out the boxes, right? Like, so you get the cargo grid boxes, and then from there you can move them around. I've seen it, right? And the cargo gameplay's there, so it kind of makes sense. Right. Like, I think from that perspective, they're almost there. I'd like to see them take it. I think they need to focus a little bit more on their interactions too. Stuff I've talked about and we've talked about before is that some of the stuff is too linear and maybe we need a little more non-linear into it. And a good way to do that is to introduce those players in. So like Kreia is a good example of, I think, taking a really good step. I'd love to see it with salvage and mining, but really I'm very curious to see just how they implement mining missions. Even if it's really basic, like, hey, here's an opportunity over there, like you're saying, the rest of the community is going to know where these opportunities start to pop up. So we'll still get that piracy gameplay, but it would just nice to have the clean, customer journey type thing mapped out and those touch points really monitored. And then knowing on the back end, they have metrics that they're looking at, etc. Like, I like that stuff. It makes me feel more confident in their going forward. But yeah, I'm curious. I think it's a good step, man. Like, as long as we get more content in and there's some layers to it and there's a little bit more progression, I'll be doing mining on 318 again. Like, I need to grind out for my ships again. So at the start of a wipe, I mine and I'll be doing some salvaging. We're going to try out some drug grinding and trading in the next one too. Right. Like,
yeah, I tried to do that today. I tried to check out the commodity journal and it just didn't work.
No, you guys are the MVPs for going onto the PTU. I don't touch it. I only have the PTU so I can pre-patch.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I don't have the tolerance.
I just like the fact that they're even considering doing it. For me, that's a good start. And what it is, I just hope has a little bit more meat to it than your standard, like, bounty mission, I'm sorry. I just
I
find those
agree.
incredibly boring, and the game
They
is
are.
just so dry when it comes to like the mission standpoint. At the moment, it's just the same thing over and over again, and there's just nothing. There's no meat behind it, and even like a little rep grinding toward to get access to something is so much more than we have now. And
I do like the idea of equipment being locked behind it. I think that's really nice, even if it's just skins, right?
yeah, I just
Like,
don't know if
it'd
it's
be
possible.
nicer.
Like, why haven't they done it yet? So if it's this,
Good point.
like
I don't
if
know.
it just makes no sense to not have done it yet. And I know there's priorities and there's only so many things people can work on, but they've like mentioned this shit a lot in the past, and just it's never happened, and I don't know why. So um, maybe it's
assume
more
it's just
complicated than I think, any of us think it actually is.
time, resources, and allocation ability, right? So it's
Exactly.
whatever, right? Like they'll either get there or they won't. But I do like where they're going, and I'm curious to see how they're going to do mining. I've always been curious to see how they're going to do mining in like the non-combat missions. So I'm hopeful that they'll have a little touch point, and because miners are very friendly, so even if it's just like, hey, send a bunch of miners to this one spot, they're more often than not, I would bet money on this, they would cooperate with each other and have a great time. And miners, space dads would love that, right? Like, well, that's at least been my experience when I interact with them friendly. They're really happy to have someone to interact with in the game that's like not attacking them, and being cooperative and having some fun. And then they come into the unorg, maybe. Like, that's how I got into the UEMC early on. Met some people while mining. Ended up playing with them, right? I think I went on a mole with them, was the first time I went on a mole. And then I joined that at work. So that's why I like those touch points. They don't always have to be combat, but I obviously want the combat.
Yeah, I mean, combat helps, but it doesn't have to be.
Most people don't need it. And I don't want it all the time.
No.
I like social. Like, I like to be able to meet people and chat.
The whole other thing is opportunities that I feel that they've missed in recent time with stuff, I guess, and they are discussing doing this as well. They talked about it in sort of the same sentence, is the distribution of everything. So they don't even need to point you to a specific location. They can make certain missions worth doing. I'm not sure how to say this, but
you're talking about the biomes, right? So that like the biomes
Yeah.
themselves wouldn't just be this even distribution of rocks everywhere that are basically just like a random walk right now. Like, no, I want to see good chunk fields, places where you will get good high value if you go there, but you also know you're going to get your ass shot off because it's high value.
So
the Daymar
they know
Cave
where to
Gun Large
search.
is what you're talking about.
Maybe not even that granular. It's more along the line of like aerial, the white spots instead of the very dark yellow and browns, right? For
narrow
one
the
material.
focus down. Yeah,
exactly. So
I like that, though.
The people still have to search for you. It's not that simple to go to one specific location and then, there's the carrot, there's a miner, right? It's all right. I have to go to this biome and search this area. And
instead of having to search an entire planet, though, I'm going to have to search maybe 100 locations on that planet. If there's 100 of those white spots on it, it does start to narrow it down, right? I do like the idea. That would be great, because mining can be very monotonous in that sense. It's very much the same of low flying across a planet in a prospector, looking for rocks, doing your head look around, right? You get the things. Is it a 2 or a 3 diamond? Oh, 3 diamonds. I'm going over there because there's. Yeah, you know the routine.
Yeah,
right? Oh, there's like 5 or 6. Oh, please, Quantanium. Oh, no, it's copper. Shit. Okay, on to the next one. I'm just like, there's no. You just pick a random point on the planet and fly down.
Yeah,
and that is boring. I would love to have some more context and layers to it in that sense, and use some of those caves, right, to push people out of their ships and into the rocks and et cetera, et cetera. And then the caves seem an obvious place to drive people together with simple missions of, hey, here's a great hand mining mission. And 10 people have it right now.
Yeah, and you don't even have to have 10 people have it right now. It's like there are like missions can be monotonous if there's a reason to do them. Like, why am I going to do that mission? Well, it's to get the mining, the cool mining backpack or the cool mining armor I'll gain access to by doing 20 of these missions, or delivering this much ore to or this many gems or whatever. And,
I love that idea of having specialized equipment unlocked for #time in. I always do. Like, people that put the time in should get rewarded with something that doesn't have to, like, it can't be game breaking, right? It can't do that. So cosmetics is the obvious.
Yeah, it's
Seems like
simple.
a no-brainer.
Yeah, no-brainer ideas, and I just want it. I just want them to take this and go, yeah, man, we really like this, and we want to do more than what we have now. Like, it's time to stop. Like, yeah, we have missions, guys. Like, is the proof of concept of these missions only going to be the ability to prove that you delivered something, or is the proof of concept of these missions also going to be to prove that they can make them really fun? You know, and
Show us
I
some of
hope
the journey that you're planning. I think that's fair. I think that's what you're
Yeah.
saying, right? Show us where a little bit of this journey, it doesn't have to be like 10 miles down the road, but a little bit past this first hump. I agree with that. They're very bad for doing that. Like, here's the first tier 1, and then you really have no idea what tier 2 or tier 0, right? You really have no idea what tier 1 is going to look like, because they never really say, hey, this is how we're kind of mapping it out.
Yeah.
This is where we think the touch points will be for whatever it is. Give us your feedback on this before we do it. It'd be nice, but it's hard. I empathize with them hard.
Yeah. It just comes down to all their work has always been, hey, yeah, look, you can sell items in the game, but the item selling experience is absolutely horrendous. So
Oh, God,
is that a good, did you succeed at your goal? Technically.
Yep.
But
Did you deliver a minimal viable product? Yes. Did you deliver a most engaging product? No. That's the problem. They don't. It's not
when it comes
engaging.
to selling, I would argue that's not like what we had before the move all button with inventory, and what we have currently with selling. I would argue is not even a minimum viable product for those features. But internally, that's clearly not the case for them, and they shipped it, and they were selling it like it was a big deal, and good for them.
It's a problem with MVPs.
Yeah, and I just hope that's not the case with mining and salvage missions. I hope they don't go, hey, you sold RMC to shop, or, they create some new UI, whatever it happens to be, and there it is. There's your missions. GG, good job. You'll get bonus money when you complete them at higher rep levels. We did it. We proved we can do it, and on to the next thing. All I'm asking is it not be that. That's it.
Yeah, I hope so. Like, I hope they put a little more depth into it in this round. And they might be able to. They've shown a little bit with Korea. Korea is a great first step. I love that. I want to see it everywhere, that type of concept. So that's my hope with it, that they funnel us together. And even if they don't, they at least give us something that is people can do it themselves, right? They can manually funnel together with not too much effort. We get that?
Agreed.
That'd be nice.
Agreed.
All right, I got to run. Kids coming. I got to take off. Love you, bud. Thanks, man.
Later, Johnny. Be good, bud.
Have a good day.
Bye now. All right, and our third and what looks to be our final caller is Jedi53. Jedi, do you have can I hear you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, and nope, that was me. My mic cut out. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, okay, I can hear you.
Okay. Hopefully everything is fine. I'm scared. Now, what do you think about the mining missions, salvage missions? What do you want them to look like? What theory crafting can we do here?
Well, first of all, I love what you and Johnny were talking about. The dynamic gameplay, the new Korea. I love that, hey, there's an ore over here, everyone go. That's great. I would love that to be in game. I'm a little pessimistic that's going to be in this tier 0 or this new rework. I know they're trying to distinguish for the mole and prospector. So I feel like there'll be a lot of the low level fetch, get this to unlock the next tier of fetch missions, unlock this, the next tier of fetch missions.
Yeah.
I just hope that with that comes what you guys were talking about with that rep. You get, okay, maybe new items, maybe new refining perks. And that was something you mentioned from your point of view that the other two guys didn't bring up, is refining perks of, hey, you get an extra bonus on top of this bonus for refining. Like, and maybe that can tie.
I know it's the same exact thing as saying, hey, we give you more money for this thing. But isn't it so much cooler if you unlock a new mining or new refining perk that gives you 5% more, insert material here?
Yes.
I
like the
because you're using a different process. Sorry.
No, we're doing a Jump Town. I liked there was always the one guy who like, oh, he's gonna be the one delivering because he has the rep, so he'll get a bigger payout for the group if
Yep.
he's the one to take the mission.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like that. And items, I know like skinned items. I know people like not ship skins, but like having, oh, I have a Pembroke that's the Arvil Pembroke. Like it's special and unique because I did all the Rocketeer missions and I unlocked that. So now I got a little more in-game swag.
Yeah, but I mean, what if it doesn't even have to be in-game swag. It can even go a step further where other games do this, and I know CIG wants to be as real as possible, and they could find a way to do that. Let's take it a step away from just in-game like a player armor, and let's bring it to the prospector bags, let's say, or the mole bags, and then apply it to Quantanium. Everybody knows the deal with Quantanium. If you don't, after you start extracting Quantanium into your ship, you have a 15-minute or 18-minute, I can't remember, timer of when it'll explode. You have to, from the moment you start bringing it into your ship, you have a certain period of time to get back to the refinery and start the refinery process. Otherwise, your ship explodes with all of it in it, and because it's very volatile. What if, one of the, this is not obviously going to be tier 1 or 0. It probably wouldn't even be tier 2. But what if you can get different mining bags that stabilize Quantanium better, right? Like, what if a mining mission provides you with, because that's what other missions do in other games too. Hey, do this mission for me. I will provide you with some tools to even start the mission.
Yeah. Some more high-level industrial tech, that's locked behind it.
Yeah.
And something that you and Johnny mentioned that I really like, that it drives that, I got this special component. People see you with the special component. I'm going to either pirates might target you, try to steal it, or you might sell it to another player saying, hey, I
how
unlocked
did you
this.
get that? Just a simple, hey, how did you get that is like one of the biggest driving factors for play in an MMO. Hey, how did you get that thing? Where did you get that? That's so cool.
Oh yeah, I love seeing the back in the WoW days, seeing it with that special mount. Like, how'd you upgrade that? How'd you unlock that?
And then you go and you grind it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing my last thought would be for it to involve other game loops. So I don't think we'll get refining ships soon, but if the deliverable was to be refined material, instead of saying, hey, give me some Quantanium, the mission says, I want refined Quantanium. So then you have to refine it. But if you know a buddy with a refining ship, that can save you a little money in the process, or could speed it up significantly to help finish that mission.
Yeah. That's cool too. And, oh man. What if... it's like, but these would be like refining missions. I don't know. We're going even further, deeper, and down the rabbit hole, which is, it's so fun to do stuff like this, I think. But like, what if, because there's a back room of the refining decks where I think the mining guild is supposed to be, so where these missions likely would come from. What would they want from us there other than delivering ore? Would they want us to, I don't think they would want us to refine it ourselves for them. I don't know. You can. What if they utilize data pads, and on the data pads, I somebody just said it in chat, and we're sort of on the same page, but I like his idea better. D. Lunit said survey data. Like, what if what if you found the location of ore and didn't mine it?
That would be good. That would kind of tie into like exploration. So you want that ship with the better scanner, and then maybe that will lead to a notification. What Johnny was saying is like, hey, everyone go here. Jedi found some ore. We're all gonna go. That's the mission, and now it's a dynamic event of everyone swarming for this giant Quantanium location or something.
Yeah, man, I always forget how fun it is to like speculate about stupid shit that's never gonna happen. It is fun. Like, I think we both know that the initial mission will be, please go fetch 50 SCU of titanium, and I will give you 4,000 credits, and will go, no,
Yep.
not going to do that. And that's pretty much what mining missions are going to be. But man, I really hope somebody hears this. And this, my whole dream would be to find a way to inspire the devs the way the racing community did around mining missions and salvage and stuff. And
I agree. I love mining.
yeah, I'm waiting for 318 to go live. I can't wait to and one of the devs is here and he says I'm hearing this, but it's just a matter of like finding a way to. I don't know how Montreal prioritized what they did with racing. It was awesome, but thank you, Lars, for caring. Lars from the mission team is here, and the like. I just want to put our org. I think like solved prospector group mining. I think we solved it. And I would love for them to see that and go, this is what they need. Let's build upon it. They did do some of that with PES. So the ability for an org to spawn a bunch of prospectors for people. And that makes life a lot easier with the current restraints of the game. But my dream would be for them to see this and take what they did with racing and somehow apply that to mining and salvage. It would be so cool.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they have planned for the mold distinctions and what that new the new RSI ship brings for larger mining that's not Orion mining.
Hell yeah. Yep. Every time they say unannounced ship, I wonder if that's the one.
Yep.
When they're working on it. But I don't know. Is there anything else you're thinking about on this?
That was it. Thank you for having me on.
No. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it, Jedi. So I guess we'll say goodbye to you, Jedi, and we will say goodbye to everyone watching. So thank you guys for stopping by today and going through this copium journey with me. But I do think I think I know what the missions are going to be like. But putting those ideas out there and hoping for it to be better and more than just the bare minimum. I think that's all I would ask for is just please try and do more than the bare minimum. That's it. Just more than the bare minimum. I don't think that's so much to ask for. Now, all the silly, crazy ideas that we have in our heads, does that mean a little more than the bare minimum? Probably not, right? But for me, what more than the bare minimum is doing more with reputation than just giving you more money. Find a way. I'll try to find a way to inspire. And I have a lot of fun ideas planned for when 318 goes live around mining, rock mining, prospector mining. Probably not mole mining until they fix it. And I hope that inspires somebody to do a little bit more. And we'll have to see. So thank you again, as always, for watching Answer the Call. Not a super long one today, less than an hour. But, hey, we're doing with what we got here. And CIG is not putting out a lot for us to work with, okay? So it is fun, and I will say I want to hear your ideas in the comments on the YouTube channel. I want to hear your speculation. I was looking at Twitch chat a little bit, and I tried to highlight some of the ideas that I saw that you guys that I thought were really cool. And yeah, it is fun to do occasionally, and I enjoyed doing it. So I hope you guys enjoyed doing it with me. And thank you for watching. So if you guys are on Twitch and you didn't catch the whole show, it will go up on YouTube quite quickly, especially because it's a short episode. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to partake in it, I said at the beginning, we have a Discord, discord.gg/SaltEMike. And I have a Twitch channel. And this is where we record these live every Sunday, or hopefully every Sunday. And that is twitch.tv/SaltEMike. So stop by. I'm going to do my best to get some guests on over the next couple weeks, because I do think we're going to be kind of rough on topics. I imagine when ISC comes back next week, it's not going to be much of anything. It'll be what we were doing while we were gone. Welcome back to the office. Planning week, guys. Road to Pyro, the classic crap that we always get at the beginning of the year. So I don't expect much there. So I think bringing on some guests will be good. So I'll do my best. I keep forgetting to reach out to some of the people that I wanted to. And we'll see. So thank you for watching, as always, guys. Like, subscribe, comment if you're on YouTube. Make sure you hit the follow button if you're here on Twitch if you haven't yet. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.